Welcome to the Accounting Technology Fireside Chat podcast. Now, sit back and enjoy while Nick and Trevor help you use your technology to make money and delight your clients.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Accounting Technology Fireside Chat podcast. Good morning, Trevor. How are you?
Good morning, Nick. Where are you today? It looks like you're flying over the Scotland.
Somewhere. I don't think it's. I think I could be in Greece. I think this is potentially Greece. I'm just not sure.
Really?
It's another one of those funky YouTube videos. I could be Thailand, Bangkok. I don't know. Somewhere.
Look at you traveling everywhere. Wonderful. I'm stuck in my office, but it is a beautiful day down in here in Melbourne today. 27 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, not a breath of wind, and we are so excited for summer down here. That's
I was
one
going
thing.
to say, you're in Melbourne, right? So shouldn't you say it's a beautiful hour down here in Melbourne? The sun is shining. It's 27 degrees. It'll be hailing by 10 a.m.
No, you jest. No, we're going to come into a beautiful summer.
That's cool. And lockdown's over. You're getting out and playing golf and even able to go to the toilet.
We can go to the pub.
Very nice.
I think we went on Friday night. We were allowed to stay for 15 minutes. And then on Saturday night, we were able to go late afterwards. It's hard to get in anywhere. That all changes on Friday, which is good. I think they're doing a good job of the rollout. I think it's, slowly. And but it seems like this week we go fairly full on with a few things. So.
Cool.
But cool. It's interesting. It sort of changes a bit now. You can feel a bit of nervousness. Everybody's been like, let us out. Now it's like, oh, gee.
Yeah, I'm not sure. had a little bit of that yesterday. I went to the office for the first time ever. That was a bit weird.
Yeah, and it does show that we will look after ourselves. We will do the right. Well, most people will anyway. I'll say
in the main.
Yeah. There was a group of people behind us at the pub the other day, and I thought, "Oh, you guys! They were young kids. They hadn't been out for a while, and you could tell it was all very loud and noisy and screamy, and so they hadn't been out for a bit. So they're a little bit excited, which was different. We weren't used to that, but anyway, yes. So life is different.
Yes, it is a little bit. Well, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. I tell you what, I was looking at the Accountants Daily, which is not something I do every day. But they had an interesting podcast, which I haven't listened to. I just read the headline, but that'll do. Talking about how automation can improve client relationships. And I've been spending a bunch of time recently. We're actually building a product for a set of organizations, which is about automating the business. So I thought I'd go and talk today about some build your own automation. That you can do if you have Office 365, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's have a think about some of the things. Like, let's focus on what do you do that helps client relationships that you can automate? That's really how you're spinning it around. What do you do because what would help a client relationship, I suppose, is the first question. What's if you're a client of an accounting firm, what is going to help that relationship?
Well, I think importantly, so I am a client of an accounting firm, and I suppose you are in a way too, as well as being inside. I think the key thing is if I have a question, I probably need it answered right then. If you think about it, I want it solved immediately. I want somebody to think about it immediately. I don't want to wait. I know I kind of have to, but I kind of don't want to. So it's that responsiveness, which is the first thing, which I think is really important.
Yep, responsiveness. So that's one thing. So someone comes up, asks a question, how do you distribute that? So we'll think about that. Look, what other things are regular communication? I think there's keeping up to date, keeping regular information going out that's in there, keeping people informed and constantly communicating is important. I think making life easier for the client as well. So, for the client to send information in or for you to send things out again and to get signatures done, making sure that you meet your deadlines. So meeting deadlines and those sort of things. So you can do that efficiently and effectively, but also making sure you don't miss any deadlines because, that nothing annoys a client more I think the biggest issue you get with a client is you ring them 2 days before they've got to lodge and pay their BAS, and you say, "Oh, haven't had a chance to get your BAS done. You got to lodge in 2 days, and you owe."
You've got to pay it.
Yeah, that's the clincher. That's the one really, really hurts people.
I guess being also outside of the in-process communications, which kind of those all about doing things, the more personal ones, like being able to send them a message on their birthday or their...
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know if we've lost Nick.
Communications. Yeah, you disappeared for a moment. I think it's probably your
me, was it? Okay, no
I'm
worries.
sure it's you. But communications for birthdays and anniversaries and those sorts of things are important too.
Yeah, and the message we used to get all the time was systemize 90% so that you can spend the rest of the time focusing on being personal. So if you systemize everything, then you can spend as much as you can. Then you've got that time, that capability to have that direct relationship. So you're not that far out that you can ring. You can go, okay, well, now I can ring someone and be personal. Like one of the rules that we have in our office is, with our guys, and we're dealing in tech, is 3 phone calls, three emails or tickets. After that, you pick up the phone because you're going to drive the client mad. So it's important you've got all your ticketing and your processes in order to go back and be responsive so that that's happening. But if you don't get there, you've got the time to go, right, I need to pick up the phone because this isn't getting anywhere. We need to help them.
Yep. And you can wrap that into things like live chat as well. So talking of all of those things that we talked about, I wonder if most accounting firms, I was reading the other day that 82% of accounting firms are now using Office 365.
Yes.
In Australia. Right?
Yeah, I read that. You read that one too, did you? Yeah.
It's a crazy stat. When we started, it was like 2 accounting firms, and the other 5 were using Google, and it's really turned around. But there's a piece of technology inside of Office 365, and if you regularly listen or watch, you'll remember when we talked about Power Apps and building application software. Well, there's another thing in Office 365 which is called Power Automate. And I thought I'd introduce that, and we'll just have a little play with it and see what we can do. And if you're listening, I'll try and describe everything so you're not caught with us having a play. But what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to share my screen. And this is just a web browser on my screen, which is pointing at flow.microsoft.com, which is the homepage for Microsoft Power Automate. And Power Automate is all about automating what you do in your business and automating kind of manual repetitive tasks and really trying to make what we call paperless processes happen. So
I'll tell you a couple of things that we've done that we've automated. One is the accounting teams are using Microsoft Planner for their workflow now. So they've pushed that into there. And the reason we did that is we could use Power Automate to create automation. So we've got every quarter automatically tasks get put into the planner for the client's BASs that they've got to get done with templates, and that creates the tasks that have to get done. We've got automation when an email comes in from a client. So if it's a really important client, we've created a plan and an email comes in and that automatically goes in and gets allocated to someone and they get notified of the email coming in. So the client email is a central email box, and then that goes out, and that means we've got more than one person dealing with that for that particular important client. So they come in and we've got SLAs and we've got things that we've got to achieve. So we're sort of combining a bit of accounting and IT with that. So there are, IT have, help desks and so forth, but this has helped us automate and personalize a service for that particular client.
Yeah, exactly. And the interesting thing about Power Automate is this is all part of Microsoft's Power Platform, which is aimed at what they call citizen developers. And what they're trying to get with all of that word salad is they're trying to say this is something that a normal human can use. You don't have to be technical to use this. You are. You are. You're a citizen developer, Trevor.
Oh, gosh.
May God help us. But anyway,
I'm so proud of myself.
all right. So let's talk about what Power Automate is. If you've ever drawn a flowchart, Power Automate allows you to draw flowcharts but make them do things. And in a lot of the cases you mentioned before, you talked about it talking to Office 365. But Power Automate doesn't just talk to Office 365. No. It talks to, at least today, when this is going to press on the 27th of October 2021, there's 558 services it communicates with. Right? So now you're probably going, oh, this is horribly complex. What am I going to do? But the neat thing about getting started with Power Automate is on the very first page, there's a whole bunch of templates.
Yeah.
So you can start to build these without any knowledge really of what's going on, and then unpick them and work out what they do and start building your own. So you don't have to start with a blank piece of paper.
And exactly right. And once you see the templates, that sort of, and you see them work, you use a template, you see them work, and then you dive into what's going on with the flow, and you're going to show us a bit in a minute. It does. It's not as difficult as it looks, but it does, when you first jump in it, you go, oh, this is all a bit hard. And, you go for it, you test it, you try it, you test it. And that's, from my understanding, a little bit of development. Developer builds it, then we go test it and we go, well, that didn't work. That part had a bug, that did this. So we go back and develop and test and develop and test. You've got to follow that similar process.
But you paused again. But the neat thing about that is the development testing. It shows you graphically where things go right and things go wrong. And I'll try and simulate that.
See if we can do it.
So let's look at some templates we've got. And the one which stands out to me is in their top picks, start an approval when a file is added to SharePoint. Yeah. So this means you can have a member of staff write a file and it actually starts an approval process so you can get a senior manager to approve it. That's quite interesting. I'm going to talk through some of the templates first. In remote work, they've got email me with a list of upcoming calendar events. Get daily reminders in email. Create a daily summary of my planner tasks. Really, really interesting and useful stuff. Right?
I'm already thinking.
Yeah, I bet you are. In email, save Outlook email attachments to OneDrive. Yeah. So things aren't just stuck in your email. Notifications. You can install Power Automate on your mobile device, and then you can get a pop-up notification when things happen in your environment on your phone. You go, bidding, Trevor's just done this, or etc., which is cool. You've then got the save to cloud, so you can do things and save things to cloud. And one of the things here that they're showing is running what's called sentiment analysis on tweets and pushing that to Power BI. And if you run a Twitter account, you know how important it is to pick up on people who are happy with you, but more importantly, pick up on people who are grumpy. And so there's a technology called sentiment analysis, which will automatically tell you whether a tweet's happy or sad. Right? So there's those, and there's a bunch of approvals. Now, before I go build one, let me just talk about some of the other things in there. This is all, if you think about it, working in the cloud and working on what we call web. There's also in Power Automate something called Robotic Process Automation. And what that will do is if you've got a legacy application that only runs on a computer, for example, MYB desktop or something like that, you can use Flow to drive that application. It will actually pretend to be a human and move the mouse and type the keyboard and read what's in there and do those sorts of things.
Yeah, we do that with so XPM, the API doesn't do WIP very well, work in progress.
Yep.
So we wanted to get, Google. You said Google before and my Google started talking.
Okay, Google, play annoying music.
Yeah.
My Google.
Okay, that's enough. Yours did. Excellent. Yes. Payback. So we use robotic process automation to get the whip out into a format to push it into Power BI because the API doesn't get whip out for that particular. Yep. So every night it grabs
every night that's cool.
Power BI, yeah.
So, and the last thing in here, which we'll talk about a little bit, is what's called document automation. And you need a slightly different license for this in Office 365. But what this will do is this will handle incoming invoices, receipts, letters from the ATO, and automate receive documents, extract data from them, validate them, export them, and then monitor them. Which is really, really cool. So
what do each of those steps mean?
So let's say you receive a document, a PDF or something from, I don't know, your customers or the ATO.
Yeah.
This will allow you, using artificial intelligence, to extract information from the documents, right? For example, how much the BAS refund is for, what the current running balance account is, etc.
Yeah.
You can then, if it's not sure, you can send it to a human to validate, and with numbers you probably want to do that. Once you've done that, you can then put it into any type of data storage you want, and then you can go work on it. So for example, you could have a process so whenever you get one of those PDFs from the tax office, it's able to read the data and communicate that with your client and make decisions.
And when you say export, you could actually, are you saying that you could, this is something maybe we could work on. You get a notice of assessment, you could download it, put it in there, it will go in, it will teach it to say, go get the amount payable, get the thing, and build a letter automatically.
Yes.
You put from a template and populate it in there.
Absolutely.
All right, there's a little challenge for myself.
That's cool. Right, back to templates. Let's go have a play with something. So lots you can do. It's a huge thing. So one of my favorite ones, which I'm not going to be able to find, so I'll do this one, is let's go and have a look at some of the ones we've got. Let's have a hunt. All right, create a tasking planner based on a 365 Outlook calendar event. We could do that, or I could do something more fun. Let me have a look.
Let's say you've got a meeting. Here we go. That's a really good thing to do, right? So in there, if you've got an Outlook event that you've got a meeting with a client, so put a task in there to send that client a follow-up, like an email summary of the meeting.
Okay, cool. So let's do that. So what I need to do first is find the template, and the template I'm using is create a tasking planner based on an Office 365 Outlook calendar event, blah, 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 blah. I click on that box on the page, and what it does is it says, you're going to be talking with Outlook and Planner, and I'll go, okay. And then what you'll see below is you'll see two connections, and this is how Power Automate connects to Planner and Outlook, and it's using my login account, which is cool. I'll hit continue. It will go off and have a think, and it will come back with the flow. And if you have a look at this flow, and for those of you who can't see it, I'm sorry, but it looks like a spreadsheet, a flow chart, right, with things to fill in. So the first question it's got here is, it's going to give me some help, but I'll ignore that, is which calendar do I care about? So if I drop down, it has all my calendars, and I've only got one, so I'm going to create a calendar. So it says at the top, when a new event is created, well, there's a new event, right? It then says create a task. So what plan do I want to create that in? And that will load all my plans. Let's choose partner program tasks. There we are, because I should be able to find that. And it's going to then ask me for the plan. It asks me for the bucket. If you're familiar with Planner, it has buckets you put tasks into. And we can even determine who we want to assign this to, but I'm not going to assign it to anyone. So what it's done is it's gone and got the calendar. So when I create a calendar item, I've updated it with the plan I want to put it in, the bucket I want to put it in, and I can hit save like that. Not very difficult, right?
Can you choose anything that a part of the type of calendar event? Because you might have lots of different calendar events, so that you put like something in the syntax, you could put like sales or something like that in there, which will, as soon as you create a calendar event, it creates a sales task, for example.
Yeah, so this is a little, when a new event is created triggers a little rough, right? It just looks for new events to be created. What you could add in the middle is a if statement. If the text says this, or if this is there, etc. But I'm not going to do that. Right, so my flow's ready to go. So I'm going to hit test, and it says create a new calendar event to trigger it. So, okay, I'm going to hit the test button. Now what I need to do is go to my calendar.
You don't have to use the online version, you're just doing that.
I'm just doing that.
Your audio is going a little bit weird, Nick. So
Oh, sorry. Is that any
there
better?
it is. Back again. Yep.
Excellent. So you can use Outlook or you can use whatever you want. I'm going to go find my calendar. Where is it? It's up here. Bear with me. And we'll go create a new calendar event as soon as it's loaded. Here we go. Okay, so new event. Oh, it's slow today.
And it's my internet causing all the lagging. Yeah, okay.
No, it's just that this Office 365 is slow, obviously. It wouldn't be anything to do with my internet.
So you're plugged into some node out the front of your house, aren't you? Or something?
Yeah, something like that. So test, event, blah, blah, blah.
Invite me.
Save.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, just saved it.
No, don't worry. Yeah.
Back to Power Automate. Now, you see, Power Automate's now got a little spinny wheel because it's thinking about running.
Oh,
And now I've got 2 green ticks. Your flow ran successfully. So theoretically, if I was to go into Planner, and let me do that. Can you remember which plan I was doing that on, Trevor? Because I can't remember.
just
Go and have a look. Oh, that's
you
my
just have to
bad.
do. You just put it in the bucket to do. That's all.
Yes, but I want to know which plan I put it in.
Oh, you got to.
Because that's what's catching me now. The flow's ready to go. Cool. Edit. Well, it loads my plans. I think I might have put it in the partner program, but I'll double check. So I'll put that in partner program tasks. Beautiful. So if we go and find, of course, it's not there. So I'm going to have to recent, don't care. Get rid of that. All. All right. Partner program tasks. PPPPP.
There you go.
Oh, there it was. And
Partner program. Yeah.
No, it's partner program tasks is the one. I've just got lots, and it's loading them at the moment, so it's hard to find them. There it is. Whoa, found it. There it is. Test event.
Well, there you go.
Credit today.
Yeah. Can you add a template to the plan?
I don't know. Let me see.
And it said that you could have all these different tasks in it. So
get a task, add assignees to a task, create a task, update a task, get the plan details, list buckets, update a task, create a bucket, list plans, get task details, list my tasks, list tasks. Right, so it doesn't have, but you could go and create buckets and do what you wanted in a flow. You don't need to use templates to do that.
Yeah. So we're doing similar things, but ours is date driven based on a SharePoint list. And from the SharePoint list, it creates a bunch of tasks, and they just go and add in whenever they've got a new BAS that they've got to do every quarter. They add that to a SharePoint list, and it creates a bunch of tasks on a date, not an event. So that's an example of those, and it just goes and creates everything for you. So instead of someone sitting there going, "Oh, I've got to do 150 of these," it just every first of every quarter or first of the month it goes and sets them all up and allocates them, because you saw that where it went through. So within the SharePoint list, we're able to put in who's got to do it, and it creates the tasks for them.
It's a really simple example, but that's the way you get started. And the way to get started is go to flow.microsoft.com, look at the templates, find something that's close to what you want to do, click on it, and then you can go edit it.
Yep.
Cool. That's Power Automate. It's really cool.
It is, and like for us, we've introduced it to the guys at Ashford's. The accountants are starting to use it. I always say, get going with it. Start looking at a few things. It will get your creative juices going. It gets you thinking about what I can do, and get you away from. Take the time to think about things you can do. Like the biggest thing. Like we spend Friday afternoons. We book out an hour at the end of 2 hours. We say, right, by Friday, end of Friday, we're going to get our timesheets all done, make sure the week's finished up. And then we sit down and we have some development and we think of things. We just think. So we take a bit of time to think. And I think everybody, you need to do that, because accountants are busy. And they're focused on productivity and they're focused on all of these things. Sit down at the end of the week, find some time and have a look at the things you're doing the same things over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
so I'd almost keep a diary of tasks that you do that are really similar to each other. Yeah, I copy this from here, or I get this letter and do this thing. You can automate so much of that with these tools, and that leaves you free to better service your clients.
And there's that approval. There's approval one in there, which is fantastic because it links with approvals in Teams. So it goes through and creates a full approval process. And then when you use the approval flow, it actually attaches everything into the metadata of the document, and it tells you who approved it, who's checked it, what they've done, what you need to do. And there's a whole app that works together on that process. So
it's very cool.
Yeah. And, we've been talking to accounting firms for 10 years, and I was running one for 25 years. And there's so many things that I dreamt of having that I could automate in my accounting firm that are there now. And I don't hear enough people using it.
The funny thing is, because it's really hard. Every accounting firm we met was slightly different in the way they did things. There is no standard way to do an ITR. And so the beautiful thing about this is you can craft it around what you want your business processes to be. Exactly.
There is you're not getting forced to go into a square peg into a round hole. You're going, well, this is how we do it. This is our uniqueness. This is why we're different. This is how we do it. Can we create some automation? There's going to be things that you're going to have to work with, but you can work within that. Like the accounting firm that we were working with over in Brisbane, they had their uniqueness was that they had 7 offices around regional Queensland, and every week partners were tripping around to those offices, and they were rarely back at their desk. And what their problem was that the paper documents, their in trays would fill up, and nothing was getting actioned. So it was waiting until they got back to the office before anything got action. So we built, with using Hub One scans, scan it in, created automation that it created a mail room for them. They're sitting at their office. They can go in at their office, in their hotel, whatever they're doing, have a look at what actions they've got to do. And most of the time was file, send to client, email to client, do this. And they were able to quickly go, bang, 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 bang. In the past, that was sitting in their in tray, and they would probably spend an hour or 2 hours of their day before they got into the office dealing with that. Talk about client satisfaction. They're getting their mail and their documentation and their communication a week, 2 weeks later than what they should have been getting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So lots of exciting stuff. So I'd encourage anybody, you don't need to be an administrator. You just need Office 365. Log in, flow.microsoft.com, go have a play. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. Well, that was awesome, Nick.
Cool, that was lots of fun, Trevor.
Yeah, well done. That's our new thing. Go and have a look at Accountants Daily and see what's been going on in there, and then we'll build our podcast through.
Well, at least it's topical, hey?
Yeah, that's right. There goes Google again.
Oh. Okay, Google, stop. I'll mute Trevor so we don't get a copyright strike on that. I'll wait for him to come back. Oh, dear. Oh, no, he's still going. He'll try and turn it off now. It's kind of tough. Let's see how he's going. Yeah, that's better. There he is. So.
I don't know what happened. It wasn't even Google. Music just started playing. Nick's probably done something. He's got into my office and turned the music on.
It's my favourite Microsoft flow. Cool, Trevor. I really appreciate it, sir.
See you then.
All right, you have a good day. Bye now.
Okay, bye.
Oh, and everybody, thank you so much for watching. Do like, do subscribe, leave us a like or leave us a comment if you want us to talk about something. You can hear this on, where are we? We're on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts, audible.com, Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope you have a fantastic day.